Okay, so Smite 2 has been out for a couple weeks now, and every time something new happens, a tier list has to be made. It's just the YouTube meta. So what I decided to do is go through 8 of these YouTube tier lists and rate them on a tier list. Okay, it's not in really in order, and I haven't looked at too much, but I have clicked through their videos to the end to see what it is. We're not going to watch the whole way through. I'm just going to take it at face value, and then I'm going to explain what I'm thinking, which is ironic because I'm not going to listen to these guys explain their thought process. All right, so we'll start on the left and we'll just go through. So the first one we have is Ven. Now, Ven's list has two conditions to it, essentially. One, 4 months ago. So this was a completely different patch. It's only got 3 tiers as well. And we can just see that everything back then was broken. A couple things were okay. And these guys were bad. There's no Jingwei, you'll notice. There's no Soul. There's a couple things that are missing. No Morrigan. So just by default, we're going to have to put Van's tier list in like bad. But only due to if people look up Smite 2 tier list, this Ven one's not too helpful. Not going to lie. So if you go do this, it's the Official. As you'll notice, the Official Smite 2 tier list, not the best one to go to. And I don't want this to be too long because every tier list video is like 40 minutes or 20 minutes. All right, this guy's Shen Moki. I haven't really looked at Shen Moki's channel before, but as a quick glance, I think it's okay. It's an okay tier list. Mordred's pretty high in my opinion. I think Mordred kind of stinks. Fen not up here is crazy. Neith in Broken's kind of crazy too, although she is really good. She can only really be good in one role. I agree with Barkus being up there. I don't agree with Hades being up there. I don't think Hades is that good. Amir, Odin, Ares down here, I don't really agree with too much, and Bologna is actually really bad in my opinion. Thana, I can kind of agree being under. The junglers, it's meh at best. It might be a bad tier list, but I think the bottom is pretty good. Like C and D's fine, but then like B actually has some hard hitters in it. I'm not gonna lie, B has some crazy good gods in there. So I'd say that Shen Moki, the Kachao guy, we'll see. I'll put him down in meh for now. We'll see how the thing pans out. So this is Snatty. Snatty is a solo lane main, so we'll take that into account. But overall, he has Broken Gods, Barkus Fen, I agree with. Morrigan, not so much. Jingwei's, sure, I guess, in pub stomps that this might be a ranked tier list. And then Sasano in Broken as well. I think it's kind of valid. Great is Anher Ares. I don't think Anher's that great. Neith is great, I will say. I like that Ares Odin are up here. He has good in the good gods. He has soul in a good god underneath an Anher, which is crazy. Hades, Amir, Hecate is good as well. I think Hecate and Neith are kind of very, very similar. I think Amir is insanely good, and I think that Soul is very valuable also. The rest of them, sure, I can see not being too good. I'm also going to put this in meh. Snatty's tier list is meh for now. Bobby, I like that his title references that it's way too early, but in Broken or in ST, he has Barkus, which is yes, because it can be flexed into every role essentially. Jingwei, I don't know, I'm on the fence about it. Yes, Crit's broken, her kit's pretty bloated, but whatever. And then Loki, in my opinion, I guess if you're playing like the 2 based Loki, it's kind of broken if you play that particular playstyle. I kind of have to agree. But Sasano and Loki are kind of interchangeable. I think Fenrir is way better due to flex potential. I think Amir is really good due to flex potential, as we talked about before. And Bobby has Odin and Ares in D tier, which is nuts to me because they both require relics to deal with their whole identity. And no one's building relics in the current stage because everyone's doing Blink, Sunder, or Beads, which means there's no shell. I think that this is a bad tier list. Odin's too low, Ares is too low, Neith is way too low. Like Anher is under Zeus. Uh, Neith is under Zeus. Neith is under Hecate, not equal. Anubis isn't down here in C. Uh, like Mordred's up here above Athena. Hecate should be up. Cuckoo's above these two. Okay, I do think Cuckoo is kind of sleeper OP, but I don't think he's as easy to play as these two. Anyway, uh There's some agreements here. Don't agree with these two. Don't agree with these two. And because they're so high up and so low down, I do have to say that this is a bad tier list. So, wrong. Not bad. I think it's wrong. Next up is dashboard. Let's see what Dash has. I have not looked at this. First thing that stands out is Athena in F. Interesting. I don't think Athena is worse than these two gods. I think Anubis and Bellona should be at the bottom. That's fine. They're fine. Hecate is really strong. I can see how people are valuing Cuckoo, but I still don't think he's on par with Neith and Hecate, as you can see. Odin getting some respect, which is good. Yeah. Look, this is a pretty solid list. This is pretty solid. I can agree. I don't think that anything under these two gods is valid. I think Arnho's fine. CERN also is actually way better than these two gods. And also, Bellona might be okay if people have a build for her. It's just that crit's so prevalent. And she's actually good into crit, I'm not going to lie. She just gets bodied in lane by everything else that's in the game currently. But there is a way to mitigate it. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be talking... She's just not a lane bully, but she's actually good into Jingwei, into Soul and stuff. If you can get to that point. She deals with it okay. But yeah, she just can't get there. It's okay. I'm going to put it above... I think it's meh. Is it good? Is it good? Is Dashboard's list good? Look, his S, his A, and his B is good. Oh, wait, his double S, S, A. And then this is where it all just gets all fucked up. But if you stick to playing the gods up here, you're okay. I think that that's a pretty solid top of the list. I'll say it's okay. I need this to be okay. What am I going to do? I'm going to change it. Sorry to make everyone watch it, but... That's okay. Meh. Bad. Wrong. We fixed that. Alright, Incon. Let's have a look what he has. Hecate Odin under Anubis. Interesting. I like that he has Anubis. Zeus kind of down here. Zeus is whatever. Massive A bell curve means he's kind of afraid to put things above or below, but it's so insane that he's put Hecate and Odin down here. That's wrong, I think, in my opinion, obviously. Everyone has their own opinion. I think Morrigan's actually pretty bad as well. Ares Amir down here is crazy. Fenrir down here is crazy. So he's got... yeah. I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest. I think this is a bad tier list. Jingwei, Soul, kind of the same god. The only thing is if you really think about it, Soul's better because of magical crit damage not being mitigatable. I'm going to put it in bad. Everything in A is very boring to me. But we go next. It's my tier list. Weaken, he has. Yes. Okay, I agree. Okay. I agree. Kind of. I do think that they're like the weakest options. Ares and Odin are a little bit low. Morrigan should be down here in C in my opinion. That's fine. That's fine. Neith Hecate are high. Jingwei is high. He has Soul for magical damage. I can see that Susanoo damage is way too high compared to these two, but I think Fenrir is better due to flex potential, and I think Amir could also be up here. But that's when you really think about flex potential. Honestly, it's a good list. I think Weaken has a pretty good list. I would disagree that Ares and Odin are once again too low. If you just put these guys up, bump them up, and then bump maybe Amir up here, and Odin, maybe Odin stays in A. But that's a good list. That's pretty good. I'll give him a good. And then Trelly, Relly, let's have a look. He has Barkus up the top. He has Mir up the top, I agree with. Massive A curve. Massive A curve. Anything else that stands out that's wrong? He has Bellona at the bottom. Like Anubis could come down. Athena could probably go up. Ares. Or maybe he should spread some things down into D and put some things from here down to B. It's very, very safe tier list, similar to like Shenmoki's with a massive A bell curve. Zeus, ooh, Zeus too high. Zeus over Hecate is crazy. Everything else seems okay. Like, why not just put Fenrir up there to make this look nicer? Thanatos is kind of too high. Thanatos should not be. The same tier as Susanoo and Fenrir and Loki. Thanatos is not as good as those three, in my opinion. He's like the other jungler that you pick. Ares. Amir's up here. Where's Barkus? Oh no, Barkers is there. Okay, so Ares is here, Athena's down here. That's okay in supports. In ADCs, it's just Jing preference, and then everything else is kind of equal. I don't agree with that everything's equal. I don't think CERN should be super, super low. Look, it's a... Is it a good tier list? Everything's too safe here. It's okay. It's just okay. And then here's mine. I think this is mine. I have... Everything here is a flex potential. That's why everything's so high. I have Anubis and Mordred kind of low. I could also put Zeus down here if I really wanted to. I just don't think he's that strong. Or I could put you down there as well. Yeah, I will. I'll put you down there. And then maybe Cuckoo up one. Yeah, that looks better. I've spent maybe a minute on this. But I'll give you a quick reasoning as to my thought process. And I know it's unfair that I didn't listen to theirs, but everything in S is massive flex potential, and also strong in nearly every role, like Amir body solo lane, good in support, Odin bodies in solo lane, good in jungle, Fenrir bodies in solo and in jungle, and is good in support, and then Barkers is good in all three of those roles also. I think Hecate and Neith are the staple mid laners, and if you don't have either of those, you're forced into Cuckoo or Zeus, and that feels kind of rough. These guys have just good builds at the moment with good ults. You know, they're doing way too much damage. Hecate ult, massive AoE that does a massive amount of damage and is super annoying to deal with. Because most of the gods in the game, you might notice, are kind of immobile in mid. I think Ares passive alone puts him at A, and you could argue that Ares passive puts him at S as well. But his passive is just really, really strong. I'm unsure if his ult is bugged or what's going on with it, but sometimes it just doesn't really work. Loki's fine. Loki with the 2 build, like if you just do full on hit with like a Heartseeker, a Soul Reaver, and full cooldown, it's quite disgusting, and he could be put up here, but I like him in A. Soul also could be argued that she's in S, but just all of these gods kind of do okay into her. There is an argument that nothing does okay into Soul. She's too strong early, she's too strong late, and she crits magically. I think that she's pretty easy to kill in a organized environment, that's all. Jingwei a bit in the same boat. But I think physical protections are way better than magical protections at the moment. Susan, you could say that he's up here due to ease of play. Like, he's super easy. You can be a bad Susano player and actually do really well here. But I'm just going to put him in A because I don't think he does as good as a Fenrir. And I don't think, yeah, once again, these gods kind of dookie on him. And then everything here I don't think I really need to talk about. I think Anubis is the worst mid laner. I think that these two, CERN and Zeus, are actually kind of pseudo-strong, pseudo-broken, and they could be up here. There's not enough light of day on their kits. And CERN, AP CERN, could also be a pretty good mid laner in a good, like, into a dive comp. Like, AP CERN could actually probably deal with a Fan or Barkers flopping on him, you know what I mean? Probably do deal with it better than a Zeus would, but yeah, I don't want to get too into B. Hades, you could say that Hades is up here, but I just think he's not as good as these guys. These guys are just so good. Like, if you covered them up and you just looked at the rest of the list, that's how I would take it. I think it's a pretty even bell curve too. Like, not too bad. Morrigan not rated because she's just so buggy and just so shit. I can't tell if she's good or not. And also, Morrigan is just such a niche god that it depends on what else is in the game. And with only like 13 other transformations or whatever it is, she's limited into how good she can be. And when the roster gets bigger and bigger and bigger, her ceiling also gets bigger and bigger and bigger also. But yeah, that's my quick little tier list video.